Bet you didn't expect a third one. Baystate Patriots. So, here's the news with these guys. Drake May, Patriot. It's pretty dope. Last time we did a pod, or one of these, it was talking about who would we draft. I remember talking about Drake May a lot. They went for him. I love the pick. Just a physical beast, you know. I think he's going to be a really good player. You just have to be careful with him. If he's ready to play, then put him in. But if he's not ready to play, sit him out. I don't want to do the Jets with Wilson and Darnold and all that. We're not doing that. We're developing a player, a big player, a cornerstone, our quarterback. So he needs to be ready. If he's ready to go, he's ready to go. Get him in there. But if he's not ready, don't rush it because you don't have a left tackle. Your line is suspect at best. You got Onwenu. You got I don't even know if Strange is gonna play this year. And then you got David Andrews. That's basically your line. Your best two players. Everyone else is gonna be rotating door, in and out. Hoping for a little bit of development from like a guy like City So at guard. But left tackle's gonna be tough. They drafted a kid too, but he once again was a right tackle and they moved him to left tackle. He was a third-round pick and a little bit of a reach. So we'll see on that. Jalen Polk was the wide receiver they took. I'm not sure about it. I thought there was a lot of talent on the board, especially if they traded up a little bit, but I don't want to talk too much about the draft. It was a long time ago now. The big thing to talk about is kind of the off-season as a whole so far. So yeah, we draft the quarterback, we draft a receiver, and then you really just re-signed guys. They gave a contract to Stevenson. A lot of people aren't sure about that contract, you know. You're paying a running back. These guys are just one in, one out. But this is a guy I feel like this is like a culture move, you know. He had 69 catches, never mind all the, you know, handoff drives he had, all the rushes he did. It's kind of like just taking care of a good player that you ran into the ground the last few years. Last year especially, he got hurt at the end, but the offense goes through Stevenson. So it'll be him, and then the kid that they signed from Washington. I think the offense is really going to be going through them. I feel like Brissett is going to play a lot. He'll definitely start the year. And if he plays the whole year, I honestly don't even hate it. But they just have to be careful, you know. If Brissett plays the year, it's honestly fine. They're projected for the number 1 pick, man. I don't even want the number 1 pick. I want to actually have a season, you know. Last year, I understood trying to get the highest pick possible, because you needed to restart at quarterback and you needed one of those picks to do it. This year it's like, well, we have our guy, so let's try to have a season, try to develop a little bit of winning instead of just go into the tank. Because if once you start building a losing culture, you forget how to win, and that's what happened with the 76ers. That's what I'm afraid of what's going to happen to the Red Sox. But the Celtics were the opposite, you know. They never really went into the tank. They got very lucky with their trades with Garnett and Pierce. But they never went into the tank per se. They were always like competing for a playoff spot in the playoffs, conference finals over and over, and then that culture accelerated them to learn how to win and then they won. They won the championship, which happened, and that was awesome. But this is about the Patriots. The Patriots don't want to go down that path of just losing, you know? So I understand the schedule's really hard. It's going to be tough to win 5 games. It's going to be tough. I'm just hoping for not the first overall pick bad. You know, I want to at least be competing for games, trying to stay in the race. I know with Rodgers healthy, it's going to be tough in the East. But I think Buffalo's starting to age out. You know, I think the window might have closed in Buffalo. They're trying to retool. You know, they just got a brand new receiver from the draft, Coleman. He's gonna be fun. Patriots should have traded up and got this guy. I don't know what they were thinking, but I think Polk is gonna be a good player. Polk will be a scrappy guy, but he'll be a number 2 again. Next year they're gonna get their number 1, or you make a trade. I think Ayuk is gonna be on the table soon. San Francisco can't afford him. Higgins as well. Cincinnati won't be able to afford him. You have the cap room. You got to do it. You didn't pay Ridley, and I understand to that degree. I mean, Ridley's not anything crazy, you know? If you're going to pay a receiver, pay a blue chip. Pay a blue chip. Like Christian Gonzalez, they're going to pay him. He is a blue chip corner. He's going to be insane. Drake May is going to be a blue chip quarterback. You're going to pay him. If you want to pay a receiver, get a blue chip guy, whether it's in the draft next year or through a trade this year. They need a legit receiver. They haven't had one in forever, and it's a receiver league, so I just don't understand it. But yeah, we just don't value the position, even though it's the most important position. Not the most, but it's up there. It's one of the most important positions. So yeah, hoping to just have a competitive season. The bar is low, kind of like what the Red Sox was. The bar was low. It's still decently low for the Sox. I can't wait to start talking about them. But this is a Patriots pod. I keep referencing all the other teams. No, the Patriots, it's tough. You know, you're expecting to be in the top 5. I'm just hoping for not the number 1 pick. I don't want the number 1 pick. That shows that we couldn't win at all. We just really stunk. And that would blow, you know? That would really stink. So I think we can do better than that. I'm hoping for 5. I want to win 5 games. It's going to be hard. Maybe 5 or 6. Just kind of have a competitive-ish. I know, the bar is down. It is down there. They're going to have a good defense. Their defense is going to keep them in games. You're just hoping that the offense can somehow turn it around a little bit. But with Brissett starting, it's not going to be awesome. It's going to be pretty bad. But is Brissett better than Mac Jones? That's something that not a lot of people are talking about. A lot of people are talking about Drake May being better than Mac Jones, and duh. But I don't know if Drake May is going to play. If Drake May plays, then who knows? If Drake May plays and he's really good, or he's awesome or whatever, he's a good player, anything could happen. Anything could happen with Drake May. He's an unknown commodity. No one knows what he can bring, who he is, what he's going to do. And he could be insane. Everyone knows Brissett, though. Everyone knows Brissett kind of stinks. He's a good guy, a good locker room guy. He's going to give up the job when it's time. You know, he knows his role and all this. But no one knows with Drake May. Drake May could, be insane and take a team that's really bad and make them really good. So it'll be interesting. That's when the storyline changes, is when Drake May plays. And I understand why you would want him to play, because the ceiling is, the sky's the limit. Just go forever. That he could be awesome. Or your left tackle still doesn't exist, and you don't want to get the kid killed. You know, so it's hard. It's hard for them. The bar is 4.5. the bar is the number 1 pick. So if we can do better than that, I'll be happy. If we're competitive and we can at least defense keeps us in games and the offense can generate points, then I'll take it. Because what it was with Mac Jones is once you gave up the lead, if you were ever losing at any point, you couldn't trust Mac Jones to score. You could not trust him to score any points. You would have to get an early lead, and Belichick refused to take the ball for some reason. But you'd have to start with an early lead, and the defense would have to keep you away, keep the offense away. Like, the defense would have to win the game for you every time. You could never come back from a deficit. Never happened. Was impossible with Mac. So, yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting. I think Brissett's better than Mac. I think Drake, anything could happen with Drake. So that'll be the real storyline, is when does Drake May play? How long does Brissett play? And can you have somewhat of a football year as you wait and develop? It's been tough, but we'll see. All right, thank you. Hope you have a good day.